Well, welcome everybody to the Psych Up episode. I'm going to start again. Well, welcome everybody to Veritas and the Psych Up series. And what I wanted to do today was really to do a wrap up on resilience. August was our focus on resilience month, and it's very important topic, obviously, especially in this time of COVID when we've got a lot of uncertainty. The duration of the uncertainty has run on for quite some time, and it's affecting important aspects of our lives, whether it's work, whether it's our personal life, our social life, whether it's our health. There's a good amount of reason why we really need to be resilient, and especially to be resilient through this time. And to some degree, in a bizarre way, it's a good opportunity to practice resilience. So I just want to really go over what I think are the major aspects of being resilient and what it means for us as a human being, and how, I guess, also if we are exhibiting resilient type behaviours, then others around us can benefit from that and learn from it, and we can be a really good role model for others. But because it's very important in life not to become a victim or to get into a poor me trip. And it is easy to do that, and you yourselves would know people who quickly go into that role. Poor me, this is terrible, this is awful, what's happening to me, this is shocking, this shouldn't be happening, I can't cope, I'm not sure of what to do now. And what happens then, of course, is that our generalised levels of anxiety can rise, and we can get panic disorders, we can develop phobic reactions to things, we can become depressed, where we get very quite lethargic, we start to really doubt ourselves, we don't think that we're good at terribly much at all. We can eat more, we can eat less, we can stop exercising, we can stop looking after ourselves, and we can get a very melancholic mood, and which then once again can have a very real impact on our behaviour and our emotional state, and certainly our ongoing thinking, so that we can become really quite distorted in our thinking styles and develop a range of irrational beliefs that we may hold, and that we may sort of push, if you like, quite low in our awareness. But during times of stress and pressure, if we don't develop and have good resilience and can bounce back in those times and during those times, then it's more likely that we can develop anxiety, depressive disorders, and that can have obviously a major impact on our work and on our personal lives. So resilience is around making sure that we continue to show ourselves gratitude no matter what is happening in life, and that is to make sure that we build our gratitude bank, our self-esteem bank, our self-regard bank, our self-efficacy bank, our belief in ourselves to be able to do things. And in order to do that, what we really need to be able to focus on is to make sure that we catch ourselves being good. And it might sound simple, and it might sound a little bit sort of self-absorbed, but it really is quite important, because most of us don't need other people to point out when we're doing something wrong. We will beat ourselves up, we will give ourselves a hard time, we can put ourselves down, and we can fill ourselves up with a lot of negativity, and a lot also, I guess, of an inability to cope. And that can be the way that we're thinking about things. I'm not sure I can deal with this. This is a major problem. And we use words like that rather than continuing to be able to see situations that test us in life as a great opportunity to face a challenge and learn something. and be able to overcome something, to problem solve, to decision make, so that our self-esteem and our self-efficacy does stay high. And it really is very important, this whole thing of seeing things in life as a challenge rather than a problem, because challenges generally become energy injectors for us and not energy vampires. Problems often associated with negative self-talk, this is terrible, this is awful, this is a catastrophe, I don't think I can cope with this, often do become associated with a major problem, and things being a problem, things being negative, self-doubt, our inability to really feel a sense of excitement about facing a challenge and working out how to deal with it, and feeling good about the fact that we didn't avoid a situation, we didn't back away from a situation, but we faced it head on, we dealt with it, we didn't always get things right through it, but we learnt through it. And we learnt a number of lessons. And one is a lesson, hopefully, is stickability, that when you hang in with things that are important, often you can get through them. And you'll have times when you mess up, times when you trip up, times when there seems to be more barriers and hurdles than there are ways around or ways under or way over or way through things. Sometimes it can become a dark tunnel that we're in when we never feel that we're going to see the light of day again, to see those rays of sunshine and to experience those rays of hope and enjoyment and exhilaration at having done something well. But what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to make sure that we do hang in with things. And that is about developing a growth mindset. And what's incorporated in a growth mindset is that we are mindful that generally things work out well when we put energy and time into them. And when we are resourceful. It's not about often how bright we are or how smart we are. It's often about how much energy that we put into something and how long we hang in with something to find a solution. And we might need to help other people help us and support us in finding those solutions. But it is important that we realise that a growth mindset, which really is about perseverance, people with growth mindset tend to persevere with things, and hence their sense of achievement and success is often much higher than people who have what we call a fixed mindset. And with a fixed mindset, people often feel that it's their smarts, it's their intelligence that get them through life. And of course, then when they make a mistake, they often feel, well, maybe I'm not as intelligent or as smart as I thought I was. And those sort of fixed mindsets are more likely to be associated with people giving up, with people not persevering, and with people falling short of the success line. And that really is very unfortunate. Another aspect of having a growth mindset is to see challenges as opportunities and not debilitating problems. And also to be able to see that when someone other than ourselves is successful, that it's an opportunity to learn from them. What is it that they are doing? What is it that they have done that has made them successful and got them through those situations? And not to feel defensive about the fact that someone might be doing something a bit better than we can do it at the moment, or seems to be a bit more successful at something than we are at the moment. Let's use those folk as learning opportunities, as mentors, whether that be in the workplace or in our personal life. So resilience is also about having energy and being vital and maintaining a vitality. And that is about making sure that we do exercise well, that we go to the gym, that we go out for a brisk walk, for a swim, for a run, whatever it might be that we need to do there to make sure that we keep our vitality up. It's about having eating well and having good nutritional base for our body, and not loading it up with saturated fats, with too many sugars and with junk food, but making sure that we stay focused on eating really healthily. So vitality is a really important aspect of resilience. The other really important aspect of vitality is making sure that we get good sleep, because sleep is obviously a physiological and psychological rejuvenator. And if we're sleeping poorly, we're not getting enough sleep, or we're getting low quality sleep, then our resilience can really go downhill, and it can go downhill very quickly. It's very difficult to face issues, to have stamina and stickability, and to hang in with situations when there is uncertainty, and the duration of that uncertainty might run on if we don't have a good amount of rejuvenation through 6 to 9 hours of good sleep of an evening. So one of the things to make sure that we do, as our sleep is suffering, is to make sure that we institute good sleep hygiene, and doing things like making sure we prepare for bed, that we don't get too stimulated before bed, we don't drink too much alcohol or coffee a couple of hours before going to bed, that we use the bedroom just for sleeping and not for working in, is really quite important there. And then also that we can use some meditation, we can use some quietening music and those type of things to help us sleep, and to make sure also that if we do have a bit of a habit of waking during the evening and being concerned and worrying about the next day and what might be going to happen the next day, and what issues we might be facing and what pressures and stresses might be there, then obviously that can really interfere with sleep. So what we need to do there is to make sure that we note down and jot down those things that are worrying about us, and jot them down, and maybe jot down quickly a few things that we can do to resolve those issues, and then move back to bed and try and get a really good night's sleep, to make sure that we do get that rejuvenation. Exercise, social support are two critical aspects also of making sure that we remain resilient. Social support, making sure we catch up with friends, but also the whole thing around developing quality relationships with others, where we can talk to others about our concerns, where we can have a laugh and a joke and have downtime with people, even in the workplace, is really very important. So good quality relationships are an important aspect of being resilient, and making sure that we maintain our resilience over a period of time. The other really important aspect of resilience is to make sure that we are involved in meaningful and purposeful pursuits. And that's really quite important. And those meaningful and purposeful pursuits need to be within our workplace and also within our personal life, so that we do have relationships that are of a high quality, where we can share, as I was saying earlier, share our concerns if we've got them, get good advice from objective folk who have our best interest at heart, and that we know won't always just agree with us, but will tell it to us as they really believe it is for our own good, so that if they feel that we've got strengths hopefully what they'll do is reach forward and give us a pat on the back. And if there are work areas or things where they feel that we might be slipping up on our life journey, then they'll help point those things out and maybe give us some advice in terms of what they think we could be doing a bit differently to maximise our journey to our true north, wherever it is that we might want to be getting to whether it's in our career or in our personal life as well. So friendships and relationships are really very, very important. Being engaged and passionate about what we do, both on the personal level and certainly in the workplace, is important to get into what we call the flow, where we're so involved in what we're doing that we can at times lose track of time. And that's really very important. It's important to be passionate about what we're doing, to believe in what we're doing, that it is a meaningful pursuit, as I was talking about earlier, and that the purpose is greater than ourselves in what we're doing, that every now and then we remind ourselves that it's not that we're not just going to gather a pay packet, remuneration for the work that we're doing, but that also it's meaningful to others and it can help make their life better through our pursuit in what it is that we are doing in our own work realm. Positive emotions are important. Also, they're important for our own sense of well-being, to once again make sure that we keep our level of resilience high. And positive emotions come out of thinking about things that are going right. They come out of our belief system being flexible, adaptable, rational, positive, and solution focused in the way that we think about things, of having self-affirmations that we run through our mind that are positive about things that have happened during the day, not just looking at some of the things that might not have gone quite so right for us, and making sure that we consider what people have done for us, not just what they might not have done for us. It is really quite important that we experience those positive emotions, to walk around and every now and then make sure that we put a small smile on ourselves so that we are engaging for others to be around. Generally, a smile on the face will evoke a smile from others, and it's much easier to be around people who look friendly and are friendly than it is to be around people who look like they're angry or upset. And so that's really quite important in forming and making sure that we run good quality relationships with others, and that we're not always, I guess, an energy vampire to be around because of our negativity, because of our low mood. So there's some of the aspects of resilience that I think are really very important. Some of us seem to be born resilient. We grow up in families where resilience is a thing and we learn how to do it. Others of us will need to learn how to be resilient later in life. And the self-help books, books like Change Your Thinking by Sarah Edelman, are really great to understand what we call cognitive behaviour techniques and strategies, ways that of understanding how our behaviour and our thinking and our emotions are connected, and in understanding that, and then understanding what we can do about our thinking, in particular our attitudes towards things, to make sure that we're doing really constructive and valued behaviour, and that we're emotionally regulating, keeping our emotions under control, especially when we need to, a really very good read. I mean, it's a book that all of us should read in our teenage years at some stage. The veritas.com.au website has a lot of nice resources for anyone wanting to tune up on resilience. And I would recommend that you have a look at that website. And look, if need be, make sure also that you feel comfortable in using your employees assistance program at work. to get some advice from an objective outsider, from a counsellor, from a psychologist, of what you might be able to do about what is happening to you. And the sooner you do that, and it's much easier to work with spot fires than it obviously is to work with raging bushfires, if you get my analogy there, to nip things in the bud when things aren't going the way that we think we would like them to go, and when those stressors are mounting, to be able to nip those in the bud sooner rather than later is very, very important indeed. So look, that's really all I wanted to go over with you to round the month off. I do wish you all the well on, I do wish you all the best on your resilient journey forward. And I hope that in persevering, in learning how to deal with setbacks and to deal with setbacks well, that you learn really good strategies around meaningful pursuits, around positive behaviours, around good emotional regulation and flexible, adaptable, rational, positive, solution-orientated thinking and attitudes towards whatever those challenges are that are there. So all the best moving forward, and I look forward to catching up with you with the next Veritas podcast or webinar. So take care, everybody, and all the very, very best.